Welcome to Norfolk, Virginia, where it is officially 1,000,000 degrees. For the people that are like ignoring or pretending that climate change is not real, I don't know what to tell you folks. The water temperature here is like 95 degrees. It is 1,000,000 degrees. I'm gonna go paddling. Yes, it's very warm and the water is very warm, but that is a great time to continue the spray skirt saga. I have 3 possible fixes for fixing this issue. One is simple, one involves an extra piece of gear, one involves a slight modification to my cockpit coaming. And so we're gonna get those underway and sort of see where we end up. I'm hoping the simple fix works, but I think I'm gonna end up with the cockpit coaming fix. So, all right, let's go. That's a little bit of a problem from all that rain.
From down here, it looks heavier than what it looks.
Yeah, it weighs about 50 pounds. So someone asked me how I chose my spray skirt. And I started paddling decades ago using just a straight up nylon touring skirt. And it had a nice little pocket here. It was nice, and it used suspenders. It had a loose fitting tunnel with a bungee in it. Pretty standard touring skirt. And then when I decided I wanted to learn how to roll, it wouldn't stay on, so I bought a nicer one from NRS. I think it was called the Neo Tour, N-E-O. It probably doesn't exist anymore. And that wouldn't stay on either. And so then I went to a whitewater skirt that I think I mentioned in another video that a friend let me try. And that was the Immersion Research that I replaced just a couple years ago. And I was super happy with it. And so through all of that, I assumed that it was the skirts that were failing. And now in retrospect, I'm fairly confident that it is the slipperiness of the cockpit coaming, and in this situation I think that it is the slipperiness combined with they made it less aggressive. It's got less of a lip to it. So this is one of the things we're going to try, which is a bike tube which we're going to put around the coaming, and hopefully that will add something that the skirt can grab onto, but we'll see how that plays out. 20-inch bike tube fits perfectly. It's very tight, which is good. But the first thing that we're going to try, that's the Delta skirt. IR skirt. The first thing we're going to try, I've always worn my skirt pretty high. I describe it as putting the top of the tunnel just below your nipple line. And that is so that when you're sitting in your boat, it doesn't pool water down low. It's lifted up high enough that water slides off of it. But we're going to have to try it a little bit lower, and I would rather have water pool there than the skirt come off. We'll see if that does it. Bringing very little with me today because I'm not going far, and the plan is to get the boat wet. I am just realizing right now that I forgot to bring water, which is bad, so this is definitely going to be a short session. Okay, skirt's on. A little bit of wind today, which is fine. It is unfortunately low tide, enough depth right here. Let's head out a little bit. So as I get on the water, I am immediately confronted by 2 people in sit-on-top kayaks without PFDs on. From the last video I did, that's just infuriating to me. And I know it's 95 degrees here. The water is not as warm as my thermometer said it was, but it's still pretty bloody warm. Not quite bathtub, but close. So really upset to see paddlers out here, even though it's a warm day, without PFDs on. And then to go back to my mini rant, I'm in the somewhat unique position in that I work outdoors, and so I see the same locations year after year after year after year, and I can see the changes to the environment that are happening, more than weather changes, but changes to the actual environment. Shorelines eroding, and water temperatures consistently higher, and it's going to be the water temperatures that do us in, because once the oceans are dead, we're dead. And then of course glaciers in Alaska is that I've seen the glaciers in Alaska. I didn't go there since 2015, but saw huge changes between 2009 and 2015, and 2015 and 2022, just unbelievable changes. So that's where I'm coming from, and you can use selective science to prove anything you want, but this is 100% agreed on by climate scientists and glaciologists across the board. So end of mini rant 2. There is no real debate here, really. End of mini rant 2. Okay, so I gotta pull this, and I gotta hide my glasses, and I'm probably gonna hide my hat as well. And then we're gonna try a roll with this skirt lower. I might even lower it a little bit more. Now that I'm out here, I might lower it a little bit more. Now, obviously, if this was a combat roll, I would have my glasses on, and when I'm in a rough environment where I think a roll is possible, I wear a strap so that I don't lose them, and I would lose my hat, but that's the nature of the beast, and that's okay. We're just going to put that in there. Hopefully they don't float away. I'm going to leave that on for another minute. And equally, I wear nose plugs when I practice. I don't wear nose plugs, obviously, like when I'm paddling, and you get your head full of water. But paddlers who roll a lot, whitewater paddlers in particular, are prone to sinus infections as well as ear infections. And so nose plugs, and so a lot of people do earplugs as well, particularly when they're practicing, just to protect their body. Your head will fill with water when you do this. So let's get nose plugs. Oh, I was going to lower this a little bit more. Oh, that can't get much lower. See, what I was talking about is water pooling in here, essentially under my PFD. We don't want that. And also, let's try burping some air out of it. Let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, ooh. Let's zip that up. Not a ton of depth, but enough. Okay. See on the other side. Holy cow, it stayed on. Okay. I think it might have been the burping that did it. We're gonna try something else. Super excited that I'm getting this on the first. I think that it was burping it. All right, let's try this. Don't take your PFD off when you're paddling. That's bad. Just pulling my skirt back up to where I would normally wear it. Which will rule out the skirt as a factor. This water is so salty, which is surprising because we've gotten a lot of rain. So you would think it would be less salty. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, but if you know, in the comments, hit me in the comments, let me know. Okay, that was just a missed roll, but the skirt stayed on for both of those attempts. A little sun protection. It's caused by lifting your head, and but I'm happy that I did a nice slow second setup. I have plenty of time under there. Yeah. Okay, here's the key. Or your skirt. You can see now it's actually a little concave. And it was a lark. It's not on my list of things to try. I noticed, as did someone commented on the last video on this topic, that you can see a big air bubble come out when I roll. And so it could have been an air pressure thing. And I couldn't imagine that there was enough air pressure to force it open like that, but apparently there was. I want to do one more roll if I can, just so that I'm not ending on a missed roll. Let's just do a good clean roll. Keep your head down, Brett, and then call it a day, because I'm soaking wet. And it's actually, now that I'm soaking wet, it's actually really nice out. But unfortunately, I have a lot of stuff to do today, so not going to be able to keep happening. But we can solve that problem, yes. Oh, so excited, and so simple, so simple. And the proof is in that on those two missed rolls, the skirt stayed on. That is the proof that that was the fix, and the skirt is back up nice and high where it belongs. I'm just thinking now, is I'm wondering if I will occasionally throughout the course of the day have to reverb, because there's no way that this is actually airtight. That's wild that you can pull that, push down, and hear air leaving. Nice roll. Almost came off, but stayed on. Okay. I'm going to consider that a successful day. There, you see, there is water pooling in here. And that's what I try to avoid by having that skirt up high. But then when you burp it, it pulls it down low again. So, okay, let's call that spray skirt problem solved. Super excited that we were able to fix that. Super excited that we were able to fix that. That's a game changer. That would have been, not feeling safe in this boat in rough water, and I would have had to have replaced it, and which I can't afford to do and don't particularly want to do. I love my Delta. I don't love this Delta as much as my last Delta, but that's a conversation for another day. But that would have been a problem. I might still try fix 3, which is a little bit of aqua seal under the coaming just to give it some texture. So I might do that as well. Sorry, salt water again. Yeah, I'm gonna call this a big fix and move on from there. Hey, if you like this content, hit like, hit subscribe. If you found this useful, I hope you found this useful. I was really just problem solving here, but if you found this useful and want to send me a little bit of financial help, you can go to Coffee. There's a link down below, and send me $4 or whatever you choose for a cup of coffee or a whiskey after a long, hard day, or something like that. Your support really makes a difference. I am now monetized, but I make literally like pennies per play. So hit like, hit subscribe will help me a lot too. My books are available on Amazon and Apple Books. The Simple Guide to Kayaking is a great way to get started, and then Go is a trip planning book if you want to do mega epic adventures. Those are both available on Amazon and Apple Books, as I said. Otherwise, I'll see you outside.